is so exciting. And do I sound like I'm being sarcastic? Australia has gone full out for technological advancements up in the sky that is going to aid everybody but the Australian taxpayer. Yay! How lucky are we to have such competent and compassionate and common sense government that are making wonderful decisions for us. You know, apart from having the missiles that are being built, we have rockets that are now being built, and we are now also getting drones that are being built. So this is an ASX company called Rocket DNA, and I've been delving into, and if anybody wants me to, I will put information on this because it's very lucrative financially, and it's also information that you get. Because I invested in this company through the ASX. I haven't put bucket loads of money into it, but it's given me information into their back door. I know exactly what they're doing. They have to disclose it because I'm a shareholder. You know, the media can mislead you, the government can mislead you, and some businesses can mislead you. But unfortunately for them, but fortunate for us, the ASX is a legal enterprise body, and they have certain rules and regulations, and I have actually seen many companies that have been shut down, and they're not theoretically shut down because they still have shareholders, so they have a financial obligation to the shareholders, but they can't trade, they can't do anything. Their accounts are just in hibernation per se, which is really, really scary. So we've got these guys, Rocket DNA, and this is what they're all about. Okay, they do, automate your stockpile. Just get rid of this. Pit performance reporting using drones and AI. Wow. Can you see all of this? So these are drones that they're using to go over all the mining sites so they can make sure that, you know, no one's stealing stuff, nobody's, you know, fudging the information, nobody's contaminating their samples, whatever it is. I don't know what anybody would be doing on one of these sites. You know, they're in the middle of nowhere, really. But look at this, look at the drone, look at it. Look at the shapes of it. Look at the bottom of it, where it lands or touches the base and takes off from. I don't know how big they are, but it's something that would be quite alarming to see up in the sky, because look at the colour that's coming out from it. And that's what I'm saying. It's sometimes the information isn't about the company, it's about their photos that they show. So what is all this? It looks so dystopian. It looks like a horror movie, or Mad Max or something, you know, Beyond Thunderdome. And you can see some of the machinery. That is a huge, big oil rig. Not oil rig, but, you know, like an oil carrier sort of truck. And now it's going through all of this paraphernalia stuff. But let's just take it back to the start and we can watch the video.
The Australian outback is full of minerals, but one of the harshest environments around. Rocket DNA wants to provide a solution that helps people get to these areas safely and more effectively. Rocket DNA.
So I have to say, they're talking about the outback and how dangerous the environment is, and how they want to use their drones to make it safer and more accessible for people. What about that little boy in South Australia, Gus Learmon, or whatever his name was? The little boy who went walking off his, you know, sheep farm property. He was with his grandma or something, and his dad, and he's gone missing. We don't know where he is. Nobody can find any trace of him. No, even the Aboriginal trackers could not find him. Why couldn't this technology have been used? Oh, because it's private enterprise. Oh, come on, get it right. It's private enterprise, so it's not for use for the general public to look for a missing child, to stop a crime maybe being committed. Oh, no. This is all about money and revenue. And I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, but, you know, I have now over 150 stocks on the ASX. Some I put in $25, some I put in a couple of $1,000. And I've got my reasoning behind all of that. But, and whilst I'm doing very well, I'm up 40% on my money, which is astounding, considering, you know, that I have no formal training in any of this. This is just common sense and logic and a bit of investigatory skills, and putting the pieces together to see which is a profitable business and what's not. And these guys, unfortunately, I can see they are going to be a profitable business. But I have to ask, these drones are out here surveilling the sky. How soon will it be that they're surveilling us? Get it? They're getting us used to seeing these drones up in the sky. And first of all, it was Amazon delivering food and deliveries. No, that'll be Amazon deliveries, and then it'll be somebody else. And that's never really taken off because, for one, drones are noisy. They're a nuisance. Two, they're easy to take down from the sky. Three, you know, they have to land somewhere, they have to be maintained, and they have to have a base that they come to and out from. You know, they can't just hover around in the sky just waiting for, like an Uber driver waiting for a call to do a pickup and a delivery. It's not that easy. So they're going to be using this technology for whatever purposes, and if they can feel infiltrated with the government, we're in big trouble. Because how easy would it be to put some type of laser or some type of weapon to these drones? How easy. But anyway, let's watch the rest of the video.
They are the experts in being able to reliably and safely capture high quality aerial data.
We're able to customize a fully integrated solution designed to automate those dull and dangerous tasks within these very remote and harsh environments. What we're experiencing today with the new Xbot is a revolution in data capture and autonomy.
Did you hear what he called it? It's called the Xbot. And you think back to, you know, when you were a kid, if you ever played Pirates, if you ever were playing any of those sort of kids' games, X marks the spot. And Mad World, that crazy movie where they're all looking for the money under the X, which turned out to be the two palm trees or something that crossed over to make the X, but people couldn't figure out what it was. And now to see X, you know, I've done quite a few videos over my time about X and the connection and how it's been adapted over time, where X used to purely was just for God. And then it became, no, it was for a marking, you know, like, you know, an X was a mistake. You know, if you had an exam at school, you had an X, that meant that you made a mistake. So it was an error. X was an error, not a sign for God. And now they're saying that X is a sign for Satan. It's just flipping me around. And I did a video on that, and I'll see if I can find it and I'll link it down below. But I probably won't be able to link it because I haven't confirmed my details ever on my YouTube channel. And they're only allowing me to do 6 videos a day, and I have certain amounts of time. And so they're trying to punish me and, you know, coerce me, and I can't. Apparently my comments aren't coming up on other people's videos because I've been, throughout my lifetime, I had some community strikes put against me. Shame about that. I wonder how that could have happened, but I did. And even not that long ago, I had one saying that I'd lost the rights to be able to be vocal on the platform by leaving comments and leaving links to things. And so I can't leave links. I can type down what they are, but I can't leave links. So I'll probably take a screenshot and put it in the video because it makes it easier than me trying to type it down. And if you want to see the information, because I'm all about, that's why I'm a realist, because you've got to look at the data, you've got to look at the evidence, and you've got to look at the facts. And then you try to align with what's true and what's not. And you have critical thinking. It's very easy, and the fact that you're listening to me, I hope, means that you've got some of it, probably a lot more of it than me. But yeah, this is really quite alarming. Once again, I keep getting off track, but we need to come back on things here. This is quite alarming that they're doing this, because you think, you know, here in, I might leave it just here, and this will be part 1 of this topic here, because there is a little bit more to this, a little bit more. Like rocket DNA, even the name. What's that all about? What is it all about? You can look at the video yourself. I really don't want to go into the video. It's very, very dull and boring. Come on, go back again. Come on, okay. They have had, and you can have a look here, one of their announcements, and as you can see, they're not super expensive. So if you wanted to open an account with, Superhero, all trades are just $2 each. Under $10,000, it's $2 a trade for a buy or a sell. You don't have, whilst you own the shares, you don't have a HIN number so you don't have a holding number or there's another terminology that's used. So basically they're creators of the shares on your behalf, and that's why the share trades are $2 instead of 10. But anyway, they're only 2.5 cents each. They're cheap as chips, literally. They're cheap as chips. And they have had an announcement here on the 17th of December. And we'll say here what it is. Rocket DNA receives a $1 million order from the US for the dual export deployment, contract renewal and expansions of Bahamian iron ore mine. Sorry, I haven't gone Islamic on you, don't worry. I'm just trying to read these words in my own language, trying to, but I'm not doing very good. Including a 12-month drone service extension, and a 12-month plan. Wow. Now, one thing that I've found out with these guys, and a lot of these organisations, it's a bit like what they're doing to us with our pay-for-platform services. You know, in the old days you bought a CD that had music on it or it had a movie on it, and you could take that home and you'd put it in your DVD player or you'd put it into your USB, whatever you did, and you were able to watch the content or listen to the content. You could copy it, you could give it to somebody else, you could lend it to people, you could do whatever you wanted because you owned it. And the purchase price of the initial purchase price that you paid to acquire the item gave the copyright writer or the creator money. They got their royalties from it. So they're actually making money. Whereas when you're now everything is, either, what's the music one? YouTube Music or Apple Music or all those other, music platforms where you're paying a certain amount of money to hire the music. So you don't own it anymore. And you have to ask, when you're paying your $4 a month, whatever it is, subscription to Spotify, and you have your favourites, is the person that created that music, are they getting their royalties? Are they? Are they getting the royalty money for the music that they created? Because if they're not, don't buy the music, because it's going straight to Spotify or it's going to Apple or whoever else. It's not going to the content creator, it's going to the content generator, because they're generating the music to go out. They don't have anything to do with it. They're just giving you the bandwidth for it. And this is what these guys do as well. That's when they're talking about the drone extension, the service extension. A lot of these ones are exactly the same. When you buy, like that one for the clever computer solutions for cleaning the DNA out of all the jibby jabs for the vaccines. I shouldn't call them vaccines, sorry. I mean the gene therapy treatments. They are the same thing. You have to buy their equipment. It's almost like a franchise. You buy their equipment. Only their machinery can you use. You have to use their specific colours. There are so many criteria that must be fit to be deemed compliant, air quotation fingers there, to be, a subcontractor or someone that has, a vested interest in the organisation. You are just a holder of it. You don't really have any autonomy over anything. You can't even change what sources you give to people. You can't do anything. You're just a franchisee. You don't have any rights. And we've seen a lot of those. You just think of smile pie, pie face or whatever it was. The pie people. That one, all the franchisees pretty much went bankrupt because the product was hit and miss sort of type thing, and the amount of fees that were being taken out was ridiculous. Many years ago, I looked at buying a franchise. I looked at buying a Subway, and I looked at buying a Nando's. And the amount of, when I looked at all the paperwork, I saw how much money was being spent unnecessarily, because at the end of the day, as I said, you're buying the business, you're buying the machinery, you're buying all the equipment for the kitchen, and that all it's all on. You don't own it. You're all on lease. You're buying the lease for the products, and the lease have specific criteria. That means that, especially when it comes to the hot oil, that the machinery must be given a thorough, overlooking and testing and being certified and checked to make sure it's safe and effective and not dangerous to anybody, every year, maybe even more, at your expense. And you're paying for all of that. But it's a lot more. So this here is a bit exciting and not exciting at the same time. It says they've deployed its XBot solutions across every Australian state except Tasmania. Customers are reporting productivity gains and improved safety outcomes, prompting additional XBot orders to scale operational coverage over this year. What else? Then we've got BHP, huge organisation, a conglomerate over the world, but obviously steel has gone to shit since China's not buying it anymore. And now they want the green steel. So, how much more money BHP is going to make when the demand is no longer high. So the products, I know, are sitting in South Australia, just sitting there waiting to be turned into, manufactured products so it can be sent out to the world, so they can get their mining royalties. Yeah, they've got their mining royalties. It doesn't come down through to us because the tax system here is so inadequate. The Australian taxpayer and the Australian tax business here, we shudder and shoulder majority of the tax burden that goes to the state government, the federal government, and that shouldn't be the case. The big corporations, Apple's, Google, or Alphabet, whatever you want to call them, all of those should be paying a lot more tax, but the tax system has it so widely tied up that they are able to fund off losses on one organisation. It may not even be in Australia, it might be somewhere else in the world, against the bank gains here in Australia, because they've got a shelf company that holds it all for both of them, and so it flattens it out. So they say here in Australia, even though they might have made $2 billion, we've got all these other losses, because the factory in China burnt down and it got flooded in India, and they can't pay us. So I'm sorry, but we've got to write off their losses because, we're not a charity here. So I'm sorry, Australia, we're not going to be paying you anything because, as you can see on our legal accounting work, we don't owe you a brass razoo. And the government goes, oh, okay. But that's okay. No worries. The taxpayer will fill the bill. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And that's how they take us. We're mugs. Scaling up the software capabilities to meet growing demand. Wow. They've developed a Site Tubes, a cloud-based visualization and collaboration tool to support departments across mining operations, including planning, productivity, and short interval control workflows. But as I said, I have to ask, if they've got this stuff here just to look over mines that are in the middle of nowhere, what threats have they got there? What they're scared some kangaroo or a koala is going to come down and make its lunch there? I don't understand. Or are they thinking there's going to be sabotage? Maybe there's a bit of, skullduggery going on. Maybe it's on some better land somewhere else, or they've run people off land and these people might be a bit angry. It's a lot of questions here. So, and just a little bit about who they are. So they're an international drone-based data, service and technology provider listed on the ASX, of course. offering aerial surveillance mapping, security surveillance, and asset inspections for enterprise customers in the mining, agriculture, and engineering sectors. Through thoroughly fully outsourced AI-driven solutions, Rocket DNA remote operates drone systems, enabling customers to focus on ground operations whilst ensuring a fast data turnaround. The company generates revenue through multi-year contracts. They're the contracts that I was mentioning to you. Contracts to service the equipment. Maybe they have to provide the drones. Maybe they have to drive all the technology, all the equipment, all the machinery, everything. So all you're buying is a couple of drones that you've got to be taught how to fly. You've got to probably have the right keys and all of this. So it's very, very, I said it's exciting, but it's very alarming at the same time. Things are just moving way too fast for me. I didn't think in my lifetime, I can remember growing up, and I had 3 questions. 1, will I ever see a black president in my lifetime? 2, are aliens real? And 3, did we ever really land on the moon? So question 2 and question 3 are sort of linked together because I think they both have the same answer. But anyway, so this is a bit of an alarming thing here. But as I said, if you wanted to, you could buy some of these. I'll show you. Okay, so this is my shareholding so far. As you can see, I'm up 42%. I'm very proud of that because after the situation with Donald Trump back on the 20th of October, my stocks went boom, boom, and I was not up at 42%. I was down to 28%. Or was I even lower? I was like, 18%. Did I get that low to 18%? I don't know. I'd have to go back. I probably did a screenshot of what I was at the time. But anyway, it's all recovered over time and I'm at 42% now. So these are the stocks that I have. As you can see, I don't have huge amounts with all of these. But when you think about it, buying, a couple of thousand of stock in something that costs you the same price as a McDonald's meal, I know what I'd rather have in my back pocket, some stocks. The McDonald's meal is fake. It's rubbish and it's going to make you not very healthy. So don't waste your money there. Have some baked beans on toast or some fried eggs or something and put your money into the ASX because you can do what I've done. And we've had a very, very big day. Oz Gold, obviously gold is going really well. I didn't buy here. They've had a stock split. They'll try to raise some funds, which they did do. So I ended up, so here we are here. I bought them back for 3.5 cents. And then they consolidated. So I didn't have 6,327 anymore. I only had 624 or whatever it was. And then they paid me a little bit back. And then we had this share split where I was able to had to buy $1,000 worth for 80 cents each. So I put in $1,250 to get some more stocks because, at 80 cents each, when they're trading close to $1, that's a 20 cents profit on each stock. And if you've got 1,000 of them, that's $200. So, it can accumulate value very, very, very wisely and very quickly. But they were oversubscribed. Bugger, they were oversubscribed. And so they said, sorry, they only wanted $5 million. They ended up getting $50 million. So, because they're going to get more gold. They're going to go and get more gold. So I only got 1,018 to add with my existing stocks. So hence they were up a lot higher, but because now they've flooded the market with more stocks, the price is going to go down. So maybe I should have sold up here. Maybe I should have sold more there, but the only reason I didn't and I'll show you why. And this is the way my brain works, and I hope that you understand what I'm saying. So this is all about the share purchase plan that happened. So if you have shares in the company, and they want to raise capital to expand their business, recover whatever reason that they want to do, they will often ask people already in the company if they would like to purchase more stock on this fundraising avenue at a low price, which is what I've done. And so of course I did. But they've actually come out and said, which is very, very exciting. Look at this. Osgold, okay, that's the name of the company, and they're trying to be one of. Sorry, I'm just trying to organise myself here because I love talking about all of this. It's better than the Sky stuff at the moment, because the Sky stuff is just, I don't know, it's just full of despair. But they're updated their definitive feasibility study. That's a big word, isn't it? For their Katanning gold project. They've increased the life of the mine by 82,000 ounces. And you know what an ounce is worth at the moment? What, 6.5 grand? Would that be right? So it's increasing to 1.028 billion in value. Wow. At the time of writing, gold was only 4,300 an ounce. And that wasn't, just last week. So this has been sitting in the pipeline for quite some time. And you can go here, if you use Superhero, you can go and you can get the full, this is 67 or 69 pages, so I'm not going to go through all of it. But if you wanted to do your research and to even learn a bit more about how the gold market works when it comes to the mining side of things, what's classed as a good pocket, or I don't even know what to say because I don't know enough about the terminology. All I know is I look at the figures and I also see who is buying and selling the stock. As soon as I see a major stockholder, shareholder, or one of the major corporations, who I'm talking about, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Morgan Chase, JP Morgan, all of those, if any of them buy something, I jump in if I can, because normally, they're not going to waste money willy-nilly. They're insightful and they know something, but likewise, if they're selling, then I'll do that. I won't purchase, or I'll think about trying to get out. Depends on how much I put in. Like as I've said, I've got bugger all. So this one, change in substantial holdings. Who's this? Oh, it's just okay. Their power is increased by. Okay, so that's a good thing. Here we go. Here, what are we talking about? These registered shareholders or holders of these securities include JP Morgan Chase and State Street and Trustco. Wow. So they're buying, okay? They're buying this stock. So I'm not selling, and I'm glad I didn't sell, because these guys are here for long term. They've seen how much money is going to be made. Because they want to be one of the largest gold manufacturers in Australia. They want to be the third. So they've got all this money now behind them, and look at the price. Look at the price on these. Come here and you can see my average cost used to be 37 cents each, because I only had that small amount of them. And of course, the 80 cents each has pumped up my average cost to 63 cents each, which is still really good compared to, because they're $1.30 on average, and I paid 63 cents on average. So I'm up 83%, so I've made $906 just on this one stock. And on the news here, on the depth, They're going to open probably somewhere in between $1.15 to $1.18, depend on what happens overnight and any more announcements they might have in the morning. So I reckon it'll probably open about 116, I'd say. But that's really good. So I can't complain. And then you've got Austral Gold, these guys here. They're doing well too. I haven't had these for a long time, as you can see when I purchased them. I could have waited a little bit longer and purchased more, but I didn't because gold's gold, and I'm still doing well. So my average cost was 10 cents, and they're now 17 cents each. And so I'm up 69% on them, which is bloody amazing. What can I say? But the other one that's really, really going through the roof is, and as you can see, some days had good days and other ones had bad days, like this Clever Culture. They're the ones that clean out all the contamination in the DNA, DNA contamination in your jibby jab. As you can see, the volume is very, very low. There are only 212,000 stock shares traded today, and I'm down nearly 20% on my money from when I purchased them, because I paid 35 cents each, or 3.5 cents, and they're now not even 3 cents. So I'm down, as you can see, I'm down $61. So I'm down nearly 20%, but that's okay, because you can't win them all. Can't win them all, baby. Can't win them all. Okay. Research and development incentive receipt. So how much did they got? Oh, they got a tax incentive payment of $1,770,901. That's a lot of money. Yep, an awful lot of money. So that's just how the industry works. But the other exciting one, and there's a few that are quite exciting. There are some that are absolute shockers. The next one I'm going to be buying some stock on is this one, Forestina. I've been a shareholder with these guys since May 2014. These were one of the first stocks that I purchased, and I thought I'd done my ass on them. I really did, and I was like, what am I doing? I've spent all this money, in total I've spent what, $210, $210, whatever it is. Now it's worth $1,000. That's all it is. And they've purchased, compulsorily acquired. So I'm up 408% on these guys in a year and a half. Too bad I didn't buy more stock. But I'm only small caps. This was my way of putting my, testing the water, so to speak. But they're doing a compulsory acquisition of Cooler Gold. So I will be doing one of those here, because this is up, it's only 4.5 cents each. So if you want to buy some, I would probably, and as you can see, I've only had them for a few months, and I'm already up 70%. But it's being compulsorily acquisitioned here. Yeah. Forestina Resources is compulsory acquiring it. So, and it's over here, where all the details about it. So now, because I'm already a shareholder, you could possibly, you could buy, if you wanted to buy some of those stocks, if you buy some of this Forestina FRS, you don't have to buy an awful lot of them. And then you potentially might want to check with your stockbroker, but I think potentially, because it doesn't close until the 8th of January. It's still open. But you've got to put in $2,000 and you'll get, God, how many shares will you get? Let's get my calculator, because my brain doesn't do numbers. You know that. Where are you, Mr. Calculator? Okay, so we have $2,000 divided by 0.175 cents equals 11,428 shares. So that's how many shares you'll get. 11,428. And you're paying 17.5 cents each. And how much are they now? Because you're buying the Forestina stock, not the Cooler Gold. They want the money to, they've already compulsorily acquired Cooler Gold. They just need the money to, I think, pay off their debts, maybe. I'm not sure. 26 cents each. Have been higher, have been lower. So, can't even see where I purchased them, because I bought them somewhere down here. Doesn't even give me my marker. So I will be acquiring some of those to get those $11,500 Forestina stocks in here. So if we multiply these amount of stocks, the 11,000, multiply those by the 26 cents, 0.26, equals $2,971. So I can turn my 2,000 into 2,971. I can make $971. On the provision, though, that share price stays at around $2.60 or 26 cents. But that's how you can make money. Because the other one that I did just recently, and these guys here, Horizon Minerals, look at these guys. They're just going crazy. Look at them. I don't even know who they are. But they're doing very, very well. They're doing very, very well. When did I buy them? I bought them in August. And then I consolidated, okay. I bought them in August. I paid $75. And what are they up to now? 133. Okay, so I'm up $60 or 82%. Can't complain about that. And I've only got 108 of them. So what do they do? They're in Queensland and a few other places. But they've just had a huge rise, and I don't know why. I do try to do my research and find out as much as I can, but they sort of blew away from me. And there's the Cooler Gold, as you can see. I'll try to leave those up the top. And then the other one that's very exciting at the moment, and I'm going to get my stock for it tomorrow, is, and they're doing so well, and I don't want to sound like a pain in the backside, but they're doing very, very well. And there's Rocket DNA, and so you can see my stock on here, and that's when I purchased them. And I'm up 35%, and I purchased them just in November. So 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, and I'm up 35%. So I'm up $102 because I didn't put big money in because I wasn't really sure what they were about. I thought Rocket DNA had something to do with medicine, medicine and space. But no, it has to do with drones and surveillance and potentially treating us very badly. So Sun Silver, they're doing amazingly as well. Like, silver's just going through the roof. I found my old, I purchased a sterling silver bowl It was a trophy that somebody had from 1912 or something. It was some guy's rugby sterling silver trophy award. And I bought that years ago. And when I say years ago, like 4 years ago. And I think it cost me like $30 or $40. I got it from the UK. And now, with the price of gold, I weighed it and I was shocked. It's worth like $700, $800 now. Yeah, because the price of silver has gone crazy. So these guys here, again, I'm up 176% on these guys. And I did purchase these, almost 2 years ago. But I'd sort of forgotten about them. I wish that I had to put more in because they did nothing for so long. They did absolutely nothing. Really, they did nothing. They just sat there. They were around 70 cents, and they went up, and then all of a sudden they've gone, oh, hello, I'm here, $1.72 a share. That's friggin' insane. But I've sort of left it too late for that. They're not doing any compulsory acquisitions if you have some companies, if you have less than $500 worth of stock, the costs of them to have you as a shareholder is very expensive for them because you're not really invested in the business per se. And I don't think, because I've got less than $500 worth, that they're going to be doing something like that. If they did, I would obviously I'd buy some. But the one that's got me very excited at the moment, and I'll be getting hopefully my stocks tomorrow, is this one, Unico Silver. Okay, I bought these ones here, all the way down there. So in April this year maybe. Again, I don't know how I found them, but obviously I did somewhere. And I put in $76 worth of stock. And I bought 333 of them at 22.5 cents each. And they're now at 90 cents each. So I've had a very nice return on these. So I'm up 302%, and I've made $226, as you can see, on each stock. They also did this this share buyback plan or share payout thing. And who's ceasing to be a substantial holder? Who? Oh, Lara Missner is a chief compliance officer, and she holds, that doesn't tell me what she's... Okay, so who's getting out? Okay. See if anywhere along here was any of those organisations that I mentioned just previously. I'd be very alarmed because I've just put $2,000 into this company. You had to put in $2,000 worth. I put in 4, and they sent me $2,000 back because they were oversubscribed. Again, too much money was coming in. So these are all the investments. Resource Capital Investments, I don't know who they are. And Sprott Asset Management, USA. Okay, they've been buying all this stock. Okay, they're buying, not selling. Okay, so they've got to tell you everything. Even if they buy like small amounts of stock. I've seen like 4 stock on here on some of them. They have to, every single one. They'll just have them in a holding position. And so the results, initial expectations of 5 million with applications totaling 19 million. That's why when you look here to these ones here, that's my Oz Gold ones, saying, okay, you had to put in 1,000 up to 30,000, but you had to put in at least a minimum of 1,000, and your shares were at 80 cents each. I said, I put in 1,250, and they only took the 1,000. I don't think, did I get the 1,250? I think I did. Or did I not? No, I didn't. They worked it out, each person, because I oversubscribed, was only going to get 67.5%. And so I only got $800 worth. That's all I got, $800 worth. Which I was a bit pissed off at, actually, because I think I deserved more. And so they've been issued. These ones here, Unico Silver, I put in 2,000, and there they are, and they're only at 55 cents a share. And you saw they're worth it like 90 cents now. So in my mind, I thought that by buying some of these stocks, and I said I did put in $4,000, and they threw me 2,000 back because they were oversubscribed. Yeah. So Superhero reserves the right to close, to issue the shares, but there's no guarantee to a variance in the share registry processing time. And these were meant to have been issued to me yesterday. Issue date was the 22nd, but that's not happened. I haven't got them yet. They're still pending here, as you can see, applied. But I did try to get more. I don't have any. There's the application there, closing on the 16th of December. It is now the 23rd of December, and I just want my stock. I just want my stock. I just want my stock, man. That's all I want. Excuse me. That's all I want. So they're at 90 cents each now. So 55. So I put in. Excuse me. Excuse. So I put in $1,000 divided by 0.55 equals 1,818 shares. And if we multiply that amount by 0.9, $1,636. So by putting that $1,000 in, I've made $636 because I got them at 55 cents and they're 90 cents. But the price will, I think, do like what's happened with the gold. The price will fall a little bit, but that's okay. Look at these guys though, Wee Bit Nano. These guys are crazy, absolutely crazy. I bought them just over $2.20 and they're $4.80. What the hell? This is crazy. So I bought them in August. I've only got 93 shares of them. But they work with a passive RAM technology where your memory, your flash memory, doesn't get removed doesn't get eroded, doesn't get removed. It stays in the article in the device. Excuse me, I knew the hiccups were coming. You actually, the memory stays there, so you don't have to wait for your memory to boot up on your computer. It'll automatically, it'll automatically be there. So they're quite exciting. Yeah, lots of things are really exciting here. I just like seeing that I'm now up $5,000. Wow, look at, I'm so chuffed. I really am. I'm chuffed. Like, look at this. I've got $19,000 worth of stocks. $5,000 in profit within a year. And do you know what? That is so exceptional. I'm just, like, I know the market is very, very easy to make money because mining is the new tech stocks. But it will crash. And maybe that's why the drones are needed for. Who knows? But anyway, take care. Bye.